So I've pre-drilled one of the holes here on the electrical box. I'm going to drill a few more. Of course, I'm wearing my safety glasses. I have them marked with a paint pen. You want to make sure that you are applying light pressure so you don't crack. There we go. We have our hole. Light pressure helps keep this from cracking. Makes a nice smooth hole. 2 more to do. As you cleanse out the holes, you want to make sure that they offer a snug fit. Some of them might even have to screw in. Then you take the collar off like that and thread them in from the back, making sure that you index the switch in the direction you want. All right, I've taken the cover off the back. I'm gonna take the collar off here. Thread it up through the back. Holding it from the back, I will tighten that down. Now it looks like it's not quite flat there, so I'm going to work it around a little bit. There we go. So we have the 4 switches mounted tight. Got a couple access points on the bottom for wires. And you can see how they're configured here. 6 spades on each. The center one is what we're going to be using to send out to our motors. And then the side ones are the ones that we're going to be using to bring in the power. And if we look at these, if we'd wire them the same on side to side, the motor wouldn't reverse. But in our case, we're going to run them one way on one side and the opposite on the other. So when we select the switch, it will reverse the propeller drive so you can control your ROV. For the end one, here on the switches, you just need a single spade connector. Thread it on there. This one's being a little stubborn. There we go. Thread it on there. Make sure it's stuck in well enough. Grab your crimper. Give it a crimp. There we go. Then, since we're just bridging these two, we just need to snip that off, give it a strip and a twist, set that aside because we need to take our wire, get it set again, give it a little twist. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take these two and we are going to put them in the one connector like so. And then you go ahead Give it a nice tight crimp. If these blue ones don't quite fit your wire, you might need to move up to the yellow. So now, as you can see, we stick one there. We stick another there. And then we're ready to jump to the next switch. So you can see there, we got one jump to the other. You can see with the other switches, one jump to the other, and then it jumps to the other one and then exit out the bottom. So as you can tell, I'm putting a good deal of force on that, just like have a crimp on there. You don't want them coming undone on you. Cut, strip, oh, not quite enough, there we go. Now we do cut, a little bit of a twist. There we go. Shoved them in there good. There we go. I like that. There we go. And I can plug them in. Actually, I can cut my last little piece, my 6-inch piece here. Oh, there we go. So I can plug, take it out the bottom. There we go. Now to tie it all into power, you've got your connector here that goes in your 12-volt receptacle. It's nice, it has a little indicator light here to see if you've got power. And some extra fuses that go inside that little head. That actually screws off and the fuses are in there. You can use your multimeter to test and see if any fuses have gone bad. But if you go down to the other end of this thick wire, you see you've got your two positive and negative terminals here. One positive, one negative. It depends on how you want to run this. Some people choose to take a bolt and put some similar loop connectors on the bottom here and tighten it together, instead of worrying about things pulling out of what would be like a bigger butt connector. Some people might choose wire nuts and then fasten it to the bottom here so it won't want to pull out. And then there's others that might use just a regular wire nut. So this is, you can see the red here would go to your red, and all those three are going to tie together, because that will go to your positive power, and then your black goes to your black here, and that ties all together. And then, as you may have noticed, on each of these switches there are two spades open. Those are your outputs. That is what is going to go out to your motors. So your power comes in, with these being the throw two ways. If you throw it one way, it will make it go from the power through here out the middle. If you go the other way, it'll send the power through there, then out the middle. So because we have our lines flip-flopped, that will do that differently. So this is where you would connect all your colored wires. So whatever your pairs are, like let's say you've got blue and yellow going to one wire, and then you've got another new color. So then you want your two colors to match going to your motors. So you've got one motor here, one motor pair here, one motor pair here, one motor pair here, and they're all going to go out the bottom of the controller. And then when you turn it over, then you've got a nice clean setup. This one I chose to do vertically so I can switch up and down and not get them confused. Sometimes we used to put them on the top. Some people prefer it this way. All that you'd have to do for that is twist the switches. And then once you get it set the way you want, you can put your cover on the back, screw it on, and you're ready to go.